welcome to Beyond the Materials. This is an introduction and the first episode to probably 4 episodes in this first season. And this is why this home and why do we do this? What makes a house feel like a home? Why take a heritage renovation of a 75-year-old house? Like why do we do that? Why don't we look at a Metricon? Why don't we look at a Simmons? Why don't we look at things like that? Why do we think a little bit outside the box? And I guess it's a bit of an intro to me and Corinne. Like we are people that love interior design and architecture, and I mean we started really with nothing back in Mulgrave, and we did things when we could afford them, and we had a real passion to stretch our dollar and sort of emulate what I was seeing in beautiful properties in Toorak and Camberwell and Hawthorn and things that we were doing at work, and I just couldn't afford what they had. So all I would do was just work out how I could emulate it and best represent it. And it's sort of half the fun is that we try and do things with a stretched budget, and we really feel like we nail it. Both the properties that we've had before, everyone's loved, and there's certain things out of each property that are completely different to each other. The interior feel is the same, I guess, because it is our house, but everything's got a different color. Like our last house was blonde timbers with green tiles and lighter timbers, and very on trend for probably 2024 and into 25. Where our new house is going to be something that's like dark and moody, lots of natural light, but at the same time the exterior is going to be completely white and embrace the landscape. We'd love to eventually have 5 acres, so you know nothing we create is forever. We also would love to make this into a business. We love architecture, we love building, and we have so much fun doing it. And we love building the relationships that we build to do it. And I guess this is our platform that we've chosen to sort of showcase that on, because we are passionate about it. We want to see people do what we do, because there's so many houses out there that are drab, that don't have a home. They are a house, but they're not a home. And that's why we love renovating heritage buildings, is because there is a heart to it that's still here. We bought the house mainly because of this large tree. You can't buy trees. It's as old as the house. It's a liquid amber. We're trying to keep it as much intact as possible. It's got some beautiful branches on it that are great for a swing for Audrey. So we'll bring you down to that. So it's got these beautiful branches that come out that way, then we can put some swings and do a nice front yard, which is not what it is at the moment.
So here's the frontage of the house that we are looking to keep. It's got some interesting brickwork which we believe was added last minute. You can see our dog in the background jumping up in the window. So we're actually looking at removing this brickwork, putting barge boards underneath, and then doing a lovely feature brick up the stairs.
We're then gonna replace the roof with colour bond, and then we're gonna emphasize this tree. So get rid of all this undergrowth of this beautiful tree and sort of make an emphasis on the tree and this big white building behind us.
Audrey, can you please show us the house?
Come on,
please,
let's go.
Please.
Come on.
Yeah, take us to the front door, Audrey.
Come on. So as you can see, quite overgrown, beautiful old garden, but just want to bring it into the 21st century. So as Corinne was saying, we're going to get rid of this brickwork here because it's not very structurally sound. So have those barge boards come through where Audrey's walking up the stairs. We're going to have a beautiful eco outdoor sort of small brick And then we're gonna sort of fake those barge boards in front of the in the brickwork, and then emphasize that Eiffel Tower of a roof line there. But
I believe we're going to try and keep some of this detailing, aren't we?
Yeah.
This door is actually quite beautiful. And we're going to
and original, so we're going to emphasize that. This meter box will go around the corner, 3-phase upgrade, that emphasizing the electrification of everything.
Water the garden? Are you watering the garden? Thank you.
So as you can see in the background here, that's our finished floor height, the cream brick, and then we come down a little bit there. So what we thought is we keep the ceiling height coming through, and then we step down this level. So this level will come down, and then what will happen is, because we've got 2.7 ceilings inside, those 3 or 4 steps will bring it up to, your 3.3, 3.5. We, again, still haven't had the engineering through on that, but we're going to try and emphasize that. And with the big windows, is we've got north facing aspect and some beautiful trees out the back here. Got an old gum that has the 70s treatment with the ivy growing up it. Probably should get rid of that ivy, but and then we've got this big beautiful tree here. So we're just trying to keep those larger trees, and then sort of landscape around that, because it takes a long time to build trees.
Build trees?
Yeah, well, you build trees, don't you?
I thought you grow
Well,
them.
they grow trees. They grow trees. You know what I mean. Our first house was 1960s triple frontage brick veneer, and we fell back in love with that house. So we bought that house. It was drab. It had green eaves. It had green walls. You could see green everywhere. It had green tiles, and we brought that back to life. But at the same time, it didn't feel clinical. It still felt as though there was a warm presence within the building. And I feel like as human beings, we leave something here, and it's really interesting that you walk into these beautiful brand new homes and there's no emotion. And I think by keeping these heritage homes intact that will become heritage listed one day, I think is really important, because if we take away the essentially the quintessential Australian dream house of a weatherboard, or that 60s double brick construction, if we take those away, then we don't have those heritage pieces of your miners' cottages and things like that are heritage listed. There's going to be a huge band of property that will be just desecrated, and what we're going to be putting up a Metricon signature, or even still just a plain Jane Simmons. It's not, those will never be heritage. They aren't, I don't know whose dream they are, but they're not mine.
So I suppose what really sets us apart is we really find it sad seeing so many of these beautiful old weatherboard homes getting demolished. So we're going to be really bringing everything back to life. So there's some beautiful details in these windows here. So we're going to be refurbing all those. And then behind us, we are going to be removing some of the things that aren't so attractive. So this really low-lying carport.
And this arbor.
And the arbor. And what are we putting here, Mitch? We're going to be...
So we've got, this is the low-lying carport, but you can see it almost hits my head. But the so this garage comes down. We've got a 1.7 meter setback with a flat roof, and then we bring in that standing seam through the front there, with the front facade, keeping those lines going vertically to sort of complement the horizontal lines. It's all about different textures with the white. So different lines with the standing seam, different lines with the weatherboards, different lines with the corrugated roof, and sort of complementing the build based on that. And then having all the garden sort of complement the house, because we all, like Corinne said earlier, we're all about having the house within the garden, not the garden within the house. So currently sitting under, or squatting under, our biggest problem with this build, and that's we've got timber stumps, old beautiful hardwood floors, but it does need re-stumping. We're about 1.7 at the highest point of our build in this corner, which we've just been classed as P on our soil, which is P for problematic, which is obviously problematic. But yeah, we're currently discussing with engineers what we can and can't do, which could blow budgets pretty easily. So yeah, this is under the floor. So we've got 6.5 from the back of this house to here, and then we've got living, dining, kitchen, and then this is mud room.
That's a great.
And then I think we've got laundry here, and then where Corinne is, there's like a little inset where we're gonna have the garden sort of come into the house, which is a bit of a detail that we wanted to try and keep with a window from the office that looks into the garden. Where the current garage,
when the inside works to the outside, so it feels like you're, got that greenery coming in, and it makes it feel a lot more homely.
Audrey's just taking us through now. Just got some safety hazards, bit of glass. Light globe fell over. Whoop. Ah! So this is our house at the moment. We've just settled on it. We've got plans coming. She's very derelict. Hasn't really been touched in a long time. Built in the 50s. We've got asbestos in that back laundry area, these bathrooms and things like that. It's it's a bit of a project. These are sort of some exteriors that we just had on us. So this is some hand drawings I've done myself. So this is our south-facing front facade. We've got our east-facing, it's not facade, it's a elevation. And then we've got our north-facing elevation there with the windows and stuff. And then
we thought it'd be really cool.
Windows.
We thought it'd be really cool, the front facade not actually having any windows, with the extension at the back. Keep it quite blocky, and just have the windows on the flip side.
North side, because we face south, it's just unwanted.
There's no need for them. We thought it might be quite a cool feature.
So yeah, we're calling this the White House of Mitcham. It's funny because the house that we just bought is a weatherboard very similar to my childhood home that still to this day my parents still own, and it's been renovated twice by my parents. My parents renovated once in the early 2000s, and then once quite recently actually. It was they renovated when we were doing our last house in Listerfield, and it's funny because the one thing I would have kept, they've actually ripped out. And that one thing I would have kept would have been this powder room that sat in the middle of the house, and it was sort of just off the laundry there, and the laundry had been renovated and the toilet had been renovated, and this was during the renovation in the 2000s. Anyway, it was sort of I guess the extension was like from that wall anyway. So like in that laundry, that area was old and it's sort of been bolted on. And the toilet was what sort of started this trend of like our flamboyant toilets that we do, I guess. So this particular one that my parents had was a toilet and a vanity, and then the whole room had random tiles. So every tile that was on the wall was a random tile. And I'm not just talking like went to Beaumont's and just picked a random tile. I'm talking like there was leftover tiles at the swimming pool that had 1.7 meters written on it. So they took that and that was plunked on the wall. Like anything we could find, it was slapped to the wall. My sister's my sister's handprint from when she was a baby, or when she was at maybe not daycare, but kinder. When we used to do the plaster handprints, that was placed where Dad used to put his hand to take a piss. Which, like, now I say that out loud, it's pretty inappropriate. But it was that was sort of the start of the crazy powder room. So Mum and Dad sort of did that in the early 2000s, and we, in our first property, we had a beautiful powder room that we did the walls in Wormley chestnut, and there was a lot of hard work that went into that bathroom, and that was beautiful. Had, mirrors and custom vanities and things that we found on eBay and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. But we then transferred it into Listerfield. Listerfield had a green powder room that again was beautiful. Had some stunning lights from Musset that sat in the wall that was semi-recessed, and I loved that green tile. And then this property that we're doing now is probably going to have some sort of terracotta style Venetian plaster on the walls, and it'll wrap right up onto the ceiling, go up into the skylight. All the condiments are going to be red. It's going to be quite a bougie room, I think. It's going to be a bit wild, but yeah, I mean, that is a great question for the viewers. What's one thing you'd keep if you're renovating your childhood home? And like, this one's going straight out to Daniel, because Daniel keeps talking to me about doing his family home, which is a stunning property. It is an absolute McMansion, and if you're going to do that project, you're gonna have to have 4 or 5 million to do it. But that would be a great question for Daniel, and I'd love to ask him that. So I'm asking you that question, you guys. What does your dream renovation include? What, is it a dream kitchen? Is it a dream laundry? The amount of people that comment on our laundries is ridiculous. You take them through the whole house, and then they're like, oh my God, this laundry. It's like, the laundry, it's nothing, it's nothing more than that. And they're like, oh yeah, but it's got this and that and the other. It's like, yeah, we just planned it well. So yeah, I think laundry's a pretty underrated dream renovation project, I reckon. But yeah, what's your dream renovation include? Comment below. If you enjoyed this video, head over to our YouTube, Beyond the Materials, and like us for a follow.